"Sir, you need to step back. This event is for family only." The voice came sharp, official, slicing through the buzz of the auditorium. The woman wore a sleek black suit, a headset pressing tightly against her cheek and a clipboard clutched like a weapon. She wasn't asking, she was commanding. The old man before her didn't flinch. His spine, though bowed by time, held a kind of silent defiance. One hand rested on a cane, the other gently tucked a folded paper into his pocket. "I am family," he said, his voice low but clear. "You're not on the approved list," she replied without a flicker of compassion. "You'll need to leave the hall, sir. This area is reserved for immediate relatives of the graduates." The crowd around them had begun to notice. Proud parents and chattering students fell into a hush. Eyes darted, phones were lowered. All focus turned toward the frail man in the worn military jacket standing in front of the stage. Some whispered, "Who is he?" Others frowned, assuming he was confused or lost. No one stepped forward. No one stood up. But Harold Bennett didn't come for pity. He came for his son. The same son who served 3 tours overseas. The same son who had finally finished his degree through night classes and battlefield Wi-Fi. The same son who wrote weeks earlier, in the back of a letter that smelled faintly of desert wind, "Dad, if you're strong enough to travel, I need you there. I don't care about the ceremony. I just want to see your face." So he came, 83 years old, 2 buses, a layover, and a walk too far for any man with knees like his. He sold the last piece of his life, a pickup truck with more rust than paint, just to afford the ticket. But none of that mattered now. The woman only saw a name, not on a list. "Sir," she repeated, louder this time, "if you don't move, I'll have you escorted out." Harold nodded once, quietly, and turned. The cane tapped against the floor with each uncertain step toward the exit. Heads turned away. No one spoke up, until a chair scraped loudly across the polished floor. Then another and another. 6 men stood. Broad shoulders, clean cuts, eyes like sharpened steel, navy dress uniforms, tight and pressed, gleaming beneath the hall's soft lights. They didn't look at the woman, they looked at Harold. "Where do you think you're going, Sergeant?" one of them asked, his voice cutting through the thick silence. Harold turned, confused. I was told to leave." The man stepped forward, standing at parade rest. "Not today, sir. Not while we're breathing." Another moved beside him. "This man's son saved my life in Afghanistan," he said. "If this father doesn't belong here, none of us do." The room shifted. Energy flipped. You could feel the breath catch in people's throats. Because now they weren't looking at a frail old man. They were looking at a hero, a father, a man who once bled for the flag stitched onto his jacket and raised a son who did the same. Whispers turned to gasps. Recognition spread. A woman near the back whispered his name like a prayer. "That's Master Sergeant Harold Bennett. 3 Purple Hearts, Silver Star, Vietnam." The woman in black faltered. She opened her mouth, then closed it again. Her clipboard lowered slightly, suddenly less certain. One of the SEALs stepped closer, firm but calm. "Ma'am, you can make him leave, but you'll have to remove us too." Stillness. Then someone began to clap. Slow, hesitant. Then more. Row by row. The applause swelled, like a wave of guilt and gratitude crashing through the crowd. Harold's lip quivered. He wasn't used to this. When he came home from war, there were no parades, only silence, sometimes worse, but now strangers were standing, applauding, for him. A voice rang out from the stage. "Dad," Jake Bennett, cap, gown, and eyes brimming with pride. He stepped down from the platform and marched straight to his father. No hesitation, no shame. He embraced him tightly. "You made it," he whispered. "I told them," Jake said louder now for all to hear, "that I wouldn't walk that stage if you weren't here. You earned this more than I did." Tears weren't hidden anymore, not from Harold, not from Jake, not from half the room. People clapped louder. Phones rose now not in judgment, but in reverence. The woman with the headset took a step back, her arms now folded respectfully at her waist. Sometimes the most honorable men don't need to demand respect. They carry it in every step they take, in every son they raise, in every silent sacrifice they make without needing thanks. Harold Bennett didn't need a diploma. He just needed to be seen. And finally, he was. Before we end this story, let us know in the comment where are you watching from. If this story touched you, subscribe to the channel and hit that like button and drop a karma in the comments below.